Hey guys, I'm Ilya, and in this no-code tutorial for beginners, I will show you how to build a fully autonomous viral Reels generator for Instagram. It will generate an image from the prompt, it will animate this image, it will generate a motivational quote, and it will pack all it together into a reel and post it on your IG, fully autonomous just by itself. Let's check out how the final result will look like. Hell yeah, I hope this video is motivational enough, because that's the sole purpose of the video. So this is the final result. As you can see that there is a slight movement of the camera. The image by itself doesn't move that much. This is done on purpose. I mean, obviously AI is capable of implementing any kind of action you want in the image, but I just wanted to be more like a subtle background art video instead of heavy action video. But nevertheless, the image and the animation later are all generated by AI. Also, the quote is fully generated by AI, and it's all packed into one video posted also by AI. So this n8n automation creates this video from scratch and posts it by itself with no human intervention. Let's check out how the automation looks like and how it works. So here's the automation. As always, it will be available in my free Skool community. You can download it as a JSON file and import it in your n8n instance, and as always, do it with it whatever you want. Sell it, make a tutorial, or adjust it to your own needs, to your own clients, whatever. Feel free to use it. Here's how it works. So we have a few parts. First, it starts with the image generation. So with this tool agent, we generate a quote, basically, not a quote, we generate a prompt for the image, and then we send it here to this HTTP request to OpenAI API, and then we get one, and then it generates an image for us, but it comes in base 64 string, so we need this node to convert this string to a file. Now we get a file in n8n instance. So, but to use this file later in animation and in video rendering, we need to have it as a link, so we need to upload to some hosting. So in this case we use IMGBB service, so we upload the file there, get a link, and now the image is fully ready, so we push it to the animation. We do animation with Runway. I actually tried before with the high Luo, and to be honest, the video result was better, but the problem is that they have a watermark, and to remove this watermark you need to get a VIP access, and I don't have it, so unfortunately, yeah, so I had to do it with the Runway, but with Runway the result is also quite nice. So we send it to Runway and the animation starts. Here we have the mechanism to check the status of the animation, so wait for 15 seconds. And once they pass, we get the status of the animation and check if it's completed. If it's not completed, we wait another 5 seconds and check the status again. So this 15 seconds waiting time is done to not to spam API too much. I checked, and it seems that the animation usually takes, for this kind of video, it takes like from 15 to 30 seconds. So yeah, so it goes in loop like 1, 2, maybe 3 times. And once the status is ready, we push this data here to this merge node. And also we push to the merge node, we push the quote. The quote generates here with this tools agent. And the only fix that we do here is we remove the quotes because the quotation, the motivational quote comes packed with the quotes from each side, and we want it to be this way, so it looks like a quote on the video. But the problem is that if we don't do any data manipulation here, we will break the JSON. So because JSON works is that you push the data with the quotes, data, quotes, and if there is quotes, then again quotes, and then data, and then some other quotes, it triggers an error. So with this node, we just replace the quotes in the motivational quote with backslash and then quotes. And in this case, we avoid this error in JSON. So once we have the quotes and the quote and the animated image, we merge them here and then push them to render video node. So it pushes it to Create and actually creates a reel with text and music, and so it creates an actual video that we're gonna post. Here also is implemented the algorithm to check the status of the rendering. So we get a status, we check if it's rendered. If it's not rendered, we wait 5 seconds and check again, and we do it until it's rendered. And once it's rendered, we upload it to Blotato, and once it's on Blotato servers, we can upload it to the social media. So in this case, I wanted this project to be only for Instagram, but Blotato works with multiple social medias, so you can easily also implement upload just a few notes here. Just upload it also to YouTube Shorts and maybe to TikTok, and also it works with x.com, LinkedIn. So plenty of opportunities here. But in this tutorial, we will do only the Instagram. Also here is the schedule trigger, so you can set it that, for instance, this automation works once a day, and if you do this automation and set the trigger, you don't even need to think about it. It just works by itself. Just once a day it creates new content and then posts it on your IG. Here I will have also the instructions. They're not completed yet, but I will complete them when this template will be on skool.com. So when you watch this video, they are completed. And yes, so as I said, you can download it from my free Skool community. The link will be in the description to the video. But also I will do it like a step-by-step tutorial. So we will build it from scratch. So if you want to really learn how it works and what each of the node does, you can follow my step-by-step tutorial in the next chapter. So that was it. Step 1, let's build the agent. Okay, so part 1, let's generate an image with OpenAI API. So I assume you already have an n8n instance. If you don't know how to create self-hosted n8n instance, you can check my previous video. I'm going to put the link in the description. But let's create the first step, and it's going to be a schedule trigger. Okay, let's put it like this, then add AI agent. Now we need the agent to generate a prompt for image generation. So put define below here, and in the prompt, let's change it to expression. And then the prompt, I'm going to use my prompt for this particular project. The prompt also will be available in free Skool community as a separate file. You can go and check it if you build it with me. So here are the instructions. You're in the agent that generates high quality art image, and then there are the instructions that should be highly dramatic, real fighting or war scene from the Bible, well, just to make it extra epic, and yeah, some other specifics that, yeah, the aspect ratio, so because we need it for Instagram Reels, and then the visuals. To be honest, this actual prompt I generated with ChatGPT, but it turned out to be so good that I'm just quite happy with it, and I didn't make that many corrections. I guess my prompt for generating this prompt in ChatGPT was sufficient. So here is the prompt. Great. Now we need the chat model, and this is going to be OpenAI chat model. So I assume you also have registered on OpenAI playground. If you haven't, go to platform.openai.com and register there. Then you will have an API keys there. You can create a new one and just create an account here. So you insert your API key here, and it's done. For the model, we're gonna use GPT 4.1. Okay, it's nice. So perfect. Let's check this step and see what it produces. While it works, we can actually create another node, and it's going to be HTTP request node. So with this second node, we're gonna send the generated output from the agent node with the specifics, what kind of art we need to generate. It's gonna push it to OpenAI API, where the actual image generation take place. Nice. So this is going to be post, and to fill those fields, you can go to OpenAI, platform.openai.com, and press docs here. Also, one important thing I almost forgot to mention, you have to go, first you actually have to go to settings, and you have to go to general, and here you have to verify your organization. Because to use the model that generates image, we need our organization to be verified. The process takes just maybe 10-15 minutes, maybe even, well, yeah, 10-15 should be fine. You just have to upload your personal documents like passport or ID card, and then you have to have it verified. Otherwise, you won't have access to the model that we need, in this case 4.1. So once it's done, you go to docs, and then we use then we find image generation. So here you have all the OpenAI documentation for their image generation model. So we're particularly interested in image API. So we press this one, and here we have all the instructions how to actually use this API. So this is the API endpoint, so we need to copy this one and go back to n8n and then post it here. By the way, you can see here is the output of the art that we need to generate. And then let's choose authentication. It should be generic credential type, header auth. It's always better to set up those authentications this way, so you don't have to pass your API over and over again when you create new nodes. So once it's set up, you can just choose it from here. So you press create new credential, name, you type authorization, and for value you type bearer space and then your OpenAI key. OpenAI key for your OpenAI API key, which you get from dashboard API keys. It's the same key that we used in the agent before when we added the GPT-1 4.1 model. So you insert it here, press save, and you should be good to go. As you can see, I have quite a bunch of keys here, so it's super convenient to choose. Okay, so now it's set. Now we need to send body. So let's get back to the docs and see what kind of data we need to provide. So prompt, this is the required field, obviously, okay. Model is also, it's optional, but we need to specify it because otherwise it will go to DALL-E, but we want to use the latest GPT image 1 model. So we will need to specify model here, in our n8n automation. Also, let's specify the quality. So the default is auto, okay, the best quality for the given model. But just for the we can do it. So why not? Let's specify quality. Let's put it high. And also we will need to specify size. As you can see, all those fields are optional, but we need to accept the prompt. But we need to be as detailed as possible so we get the best quality image for creating animation later. And for size we're gonna choose, let's actually do it step by step. So first let's go with the prompt. So we copy prompt, in the send body name prompt, and then a value. This is going to be our value. Perfect. Add parameter. Now we go back to the docs and choose copy model. Paste it here, go back to docs, and for value it is going to be GPT image 1. That's the model we want to use. Perfect. Add another parameter. Quality. Let's set it to high. We need the highest quality image, so we get the highest quality animation, so we get the high quality Reels that attracts a lot of followers fully autonomously. And then another parameter is going to be size. This is going to be the last one. So size. And for size, let's go to this one. So we get a vertical photo. Perfect. So we're done with this step. Let's actually rename it. Generate an image. Test step. To build really good, properly working automations, I suggest when you create a node, you just set it up, you add all the data, do all the settings, and then you test it, and you tested each node. So this way you always know that the node you created is working. So if there is an error somewhere, it is always easier to find it because you test each of the nodes, so you know this node is going to work for sure. So okay, it always takes some time, that's normal. I mean, if you generated the image in ChatGPT, it also takes, like, I don't know, maybe 30 seconds, one minute. So while we are waiting for the execution, we can continue building. So let's create this convert to file node. Choose convert to move base 64 string to file. And it will become clear just in a moment. Nice, so it's generated. Perfect, so now we have an image generated by OpenAI API. Let's press show the data and see what's there. You would expect an image, but no, this is the massive, like super long string file. So OpenAI generates images in B64 format, and to actually view this image and to use it later, we need to convert it to binary, and we do it through this node. So we convert this base 64 string to file. So okay. Okay, actually, yeah, so we can do it this way. So let's type here data B64 not JSON. Here we keep it as it is, and here we keep it as data, and then we test the step. Perfect, so now we can view it, and let's check it out. Nice, super epic high quality image. We can definitely use for the motivational video. Something like go hard, if you go hard, go harder, or something like that. Okay, now let's create another node, and this is going to be the final node for the image generation process. So now we generated an image. It came with B64 in B64 string, this massive string, so lots and lots of characters. We converted this string to a file, so now we have the actual image, but this image is stored right now on this n8n instance, and we need a link to give access to other models like Runway or to Creatomate to create the reels. So what we need is to upload this file right now to the hosting, and we're gonna use imgbb. Yep. Okay, so HTTP request node, method post, and then let's go to imgbb. So you create an account here. Once it's created, you go to API. You generate your API key here. And now we have this small documentation how we can use their API. So let's copy this URL. This is their endpoint. Let's go back to n8n, post it here. So method post URL we just copied from their documentation. Authentication, let's also create one so we don't post our API key all the time. In this case, let's choose query auth. And now we need to create new credential. So in name, instead of authorization, you type key. As you can see here, this is key and it's required. And in the value, you just type the API key that you copy from here. So you type it here. I'm not going to do that because I already have an account created. So once you typed, you just press save and you should be good to go. And you will have it here. So choose it. Okay, perfect. Now what we do is that we send body. For body we choose form data. Parameter here n8n binary file, since we sent binary file from n8n. Name, let's go back to documentation, check the name. So image, this is going to be the name of the parameter, and you can see it's required. So we put name here. And for the input data, let's put the name of the file. So you can see in this case, this is data. And we are done. Let's press the test tab and see if it works. Okay, so we didn't get an error. It succeeded. That's really good. We got a bunch of info here, and also we got the URL. You can copy this URL and then paste it in the new tab of the browser to see if it actually succeeded. And it succeeded. Nice. So we created an image and uploaded it, converted it to file and uploaded to MGBB web service. So now we have the link to access the image, and we can move to part 2, animate this image. Okay guys, part 2, now let's animate the image we created. So to do that, we create another node, HTTP request node. And then we go to dev.runwayml.com and register there. This is the developer portal for Runway. Once you're registered, you will see this dashboard. So what you need to do is create new API key, assign it a name, press create, and now you got the key. You have to copy this key and keep it in some secure place. So once it's copied, you go back to n8n, and here you change the method post, authentication, generic credential type, header auth, and here we create another account like we did just before. So you press create new credential, name authorization, and value, again, you type as bearer, space, and then your API key, and press save. Credential successfully saved, perfect. So once we got the key, we have to go back to the dashboard and press docs here. When you are in the documentation, you press API reference. And in API reference, okay, so we just have the instructions here to start the generation. So what you need to do is here is the screen with the code. You choose curl and press copy. Then you go back to the automation and choose import curl. Paste the text we just copied, the code we just copied, and press import. Nice. So this way, in just like few clicks, we set up the node completely. So now we just need to change a few of parameters to fit our goals, and it's pretty much done. So here in the headers, we don't need authorization since we created, okay, so authentication broke down. Okay, we need to again generic credential type, and then header auth, and then we choose, yeah, the one we just created. I think it should be this one. So since we authorize our API with the API key through this header auth, we don't need authorization here, so you can just delete this field. However, you need to send the Runway version field, so this one you need to keep. In the body, we have a few fields here. So first is the prompt image. So here is the image that we will animate. So we delete this image, this value I mean, and add the image we have here. It's the image that is stored on the link on IMGBB server that we created with the previous node. See it, we don't need it. Model Gen 4 Turbo. Actually, for the sake of this tutorial, I'm gonna use Gen 3A Turbo because I used this model when I built this solution. So just to get the same result that I showed in the demo, I'm gonna use this model. But you are free to use Gen 4 Turbo. It also should be fine. It's their latest model, so maybe even better result. Okay, so prompt text. Here now we need to get the text of the prompt. So as you remember, it was generated by the. Actually, no, it was not generated. Here we're gonna have to type it manually. So we just choose expression, and we copy the prompt. You can get the prompt that I use from my free Skool community. It will be there in a separate file. But in short, yeah, so here is the prompt. It is quite short, shorter than we used with in the tools agent. It's because the limit for Runway is 1000 characters, so this one is just round about it. So here we give the instructions that we need to animate this image in the style of 19th century engraved biblical war scene, and then we need to bring the characters to life with minimal deliberate motion, and we need to keep maintain chrome engraving texture and 60% opacity. So all that. So just some short instructions. Do not light up the video because it used to, when I was testing the solution, it was lighting it up too hard. I don't know why. Do not zoom. Change the frame, keep the same style, loop seamlessly. Obviously, this is the prompt for the solution that I was building, so for this specific style that I wanted to create. But in this prompt, you can be as creative as you want, and just, I mean, you can actually animate these images in a very interesting way. So you can adjust this prompt to your own needs. So duration, the duration. Let's actually check in the documentation. I'm going to show you how it works. So if we go to API, I mean, we are in API reference. We go to docs, and here we go to billing. In billing, first of all, you can see that they offer two models right now. So Gen 3A Turbo and Gen 4 Turbo. They cost the same. So 5 credits per this model and 5 credits also per this model. So the price is the same. Then we can also learn here that the length of the video could be either 5 or 10 seconds. So only 5 or 10, unfortunately not more. And the price for the video will be according, so 5 seconds is 25 cents and 10 seconds is 50 cents. I'm gonna do also a full breakdown on the cost of this setup. So overall, I mean, you will have to gather some subscriptions, and also the price for each video generated. Yeah, also here we can also check that the ratio that we can use with these models. So we use Gen 3 Alpha. So here we have only two options, is this ratio and this one. So obviously we're going to use this one because we need our video to be vertical. So we copy that, go back to here. So duration, let's do it 10 seconds so we get a bit longer video. Ratio, let's change the ratio to the one we just copied, and we should be actually good to go. So we got the model, we got the prompt image, we got the prompt text, we got the duration, we got the ratio. Perfect. So let's also rename these nodes so they look nice. So this one was to generate a video link. Generate an image link, sorry. And this one, generate a video. Perfect. Okay, so now we need to do this mechanism to check when the video generation is actually done. To do that, so first let's put a timer of let's say 15 seconds, so we don't spam the API too often. Just 15 seconds. Actually, in the meantime, while we build this, let's also check this step. So we press test step, and we check it to see if it works as it should be. So now we need a node that gets the status of this generation. So you see the generation is running. We have the ID, which is good, and we will use this ID to gather the status of the generation. So create HTTP request node, another one. Now we go back to the documentation, choose again API reference, and then in the API reference we get task details. Also we copy the curl. Copy, get back to n8n. So method get, actually we just press import curl here, replace with the code which is copied, import, and it's almost set up. So again, we don't need authorization because we create notification here. So what we do is choose again generic credential type, and we also choose header auth, and then for this case header auth account, and delete this authorization. Perfect. So with this node we're gonna get the status. So let's rename it accordingly. Get the generation status. Nice. Okay, so what we do next is that we need an if statement. So we get a status and we check if the status is running. It means that the generation is ongoing, so it's not completed. So if it is true, we need to wait some time and then check the status again. And if it's false, if the status is not running, it means it's completed, then we do the next step. So let's add an if statement. Here now we need to run this node, so let's run this node. Perfect. So now let's run this node. And we get an error. Bad request, please check your parameters. Okay, so yes, we forgot to change the task ID. So as you can see, the ID is here. So we change it to, first we change it to expression, then we remove this ID and then put the ID here from the wait node. This is the ID of the task for the video generation, and then test the step again. Okay, so as you can see, the status is succeeded, so which means that the video is generated. Actually, also we can, this is the output link with the video, we can actually go and check this video. So let's copy the link, open a new tab and see this video. Perfect. So it comes to life, it's moving a bit, the camera is moving, there is some light changes going on, which is good. Okay, so for our specific purpose, just perfect. So let's get back. So the status, the status, as you can see, succeeded now because it took us a bit of time to create this node and with all the explanation. So while I was explaining all that, the video generated and the status went to succeeded. But of course, it won't be like this straight away. It still takes a bit of time. So let's do this if statement node. So if status is not, let's actually make it not equal, is not equal to succeeded. Let's rename it to check the status. Actually, let's change it this way. If it's not equal to succeeded, then we wait another 5 seconds. And then we go back to get generation status again. And if it is false, so if it's not equal, if the status is not equal to succeeded and it's false, it means that the status succeeded. So then to false, we move to the next step. Let's adjust these nodes. So let's rename them to, wait, 15 sec. And wait, 5 sec. Okay, perfect. But now we're done with the video generation. So next we're gonna do is quote generation. So next step. Okay, so step 3, generate a quote. Let's move this guy here and let's create another agent. Also, guys, I said that we need to test each node, and we didn't test this one, so let's do a quick test. Okay, actually no, it succeeded. Yeah, it's yellow because we added here new link. So okay, so the nodes are tested, and this if statement we can test only when we actually no, we can test it right now. Let's test the step. Okay, so now output date in the branch, but you can see the false is green now. So it means that the status is succeeded. So, and since we got the, as an if statement we got is not equal, so it false, so great. So the status is succeeded and we can move forward. But let's get back to the quote generation. So AI agent, defined below. I'm gonna copy the prompt from the notes here. The prompt will be also available in my free Skool community in a separate file, so I will make it nice and clean so you can guys do just step by step with the video, and at the same time don't waste time for copying the prompts from the screen. So as you can see, you're an AI agent that creates motivational quotes, generate a short, hard-boiled motivational quote for elite entrepreneurs and relentless high performance. Great. The quote must be real, spoken or written by a verified tough historical figure, and all that. So here again, you can also be super creative with the text. Again, this is just the quote. This is the type of content, the type of text I wanted to produce. So and for this case, I created this specific prompt. However, I mean, this kind of setup gives unlimited possibilities for creativity. So you can literally create anything you want and generate any kind of content, any kind of text, and any kind of image. Okay, where is it? It's here. We don't need this link. Okay, let's put the agent here. Let's make this guy smaller. Add a link from the trigger here. And let's connect to this chat model. Nice. Let's run this agent and see what it produces. Victory belongs to the most persevering, Napoleon Bonaparte. Nice, perfect. So now I can explain. So as you can see, so this is the format. Actually, I specify the format here. So you can see quotation, quote, quotation, and then the author's full name or source. So this is the format I'm requesting this quote to be produced. And I want it to look exactly this way in the final result, in the reel. So the prompt works fine, and we have exactly this format. So quotation mark, and then the actual quote, and then quotation mark again, and then the author of the quote. However, the problem is that if we feed this data in this plain text format to JSON, we're gonna make an error. So what we need now, we need an extra node that will format this text a bit. Here's the code that I will use to clean this up. And we can test this step. So we have an output here. Test the step. And as you can see, so each quotation mark is replaced with backslash quotation mark. So quotation mark and backslash quotation mark. So this way, JSON ignores, after the backslash, JSON ignores these quotation marks, so they don't affect our logic at all, and then there is no error then. So with the generating quote, it's done, super simple as you can see. Let's clean it up a bit. Okay, now next step is to render the video. Okay guys, now, so what we have, we generated an image, now we generated a video from this image, and we also generated a quote. So the next block is, what we need is to build the rendering. So we combine all this and create an actual video, an actual reel that we will post later. So to do that, we need to merge the results. We need to merge video and quote. Let's get the merge node. Combine, position, number of inputs too, because we have two inputs, so quote and video. Perfect. So from video output we have here. Oops, it comes from false. Connected, nice, and quote. Let's put it to the second input. So now we have this result merged, and now we have it as one output. It should contain quote plus the video. So what we do next is that we need HTTP request to send this result to Creatimate. Creatimate will manufacture a video for us, and then we get this video and send it to Blotato to post it on Instagram. So now let's go to creatimate.com and create an account here. They offer free trial, so you can start for free. You will have some limitations with the video quality, but just for testing out, that's good that they offer a free trial. So press get started, create an account. Once your account is created, you will see this dashboard. So what you need to do is that you go to the templates, you press new, just choose, for instance, this one, and 9x16 vertical should be fine. Create template. The template is created. What you do next is that you press on this brackets icon to enable source editor, and now you have a code for this video. Yes. So you can get the code that I use from my free Skool community. It will be in a separate file. You can just copy and paste it here, and you have exactly the same template that I use in this tutorial. So let me open this template. So yeah, so that's how it looks. Very simple template. Actually, I did some customizations to the text. It shows a specific font and size and font spacing, that kind of stuff. But otherwise, it has just music, middle text, and the video itself. As you can see, video here is quite different from the result that we want, but I'll just explain in a bit where our video comes from. So you can also play around here. Creatimate is quite powerful platform, I gotta say. You can do all kinds of manipulations with the text and images and videos here to create the reel that you like. Also pretty cool that you can use API to upload the content here to do the manipulations via template. So to do these manipulations, let's go back to the dashboard. Let's press documentation, API, REST API, and then post v1 renders. Scroll down a bit, copy this example curl code, go back to our n8n automation, press plus here, and let's create another HTTP request node. Import curl, replaced with the text we just copied, import. Perfect. So what we have now, we have the post method, and then we have the API endpoint to send our request. So what I suggest to do is that we can send the key with the headers, but I mean just to reuse it later, I suggest create authentication here. So let's disable headers and create authentication. Generic credential type, header auth, then you press create new credential, name authorization. Here volume again bearer as always, space. And now we need our API key. Where do we get that? Let's go back to createamate.com dashboard. Press on this icon here, project settings. And here you can see API key. Click to reveal. You click to reveal, it reveals your API key, you copy it, you go back to n8n, paste it here after bearer, and then press save, and you are good to go. You will have an account just like this. Bam, ready. Awesome. Let's see what we can do here. So we have the content in the template, as you remember, which is different from what we need. I mean, we generated some stuff with AI in n8n, so we get to use this stuff. We don't need mountains here, we need some AI generated content. So how do we do that? I suggest you just copy my code from Free Skool community, will be a separate file, and change the expression here, and I will tell you what exactly does it do. So here first, template ID. You need to change it with the template ID generated in your account, in your template in Createamate. Where do you get this? So you go to Createamate, you go to the template you created, and the easiest way is that you will see it in URL. So this is the last part of the URL. You copy this part, you change it here. As you can see, mine is 3 times E, something 772, and here is 7 triple E and then 772. So then we need to do some modifications. You can play around and do a lot of modifications, but for my project I want to just some basic stuff, let's put it this way. So music source, actually it's like music.source. So we got the music here, and let me open the editor. So where is the music? Here is the music, and here is the source. So this is the name of, I don't know, like a variable maybe, or just an element, name of the element. Then you put dot, and then you put the field that you want to edit. So music.source, and then we insert the new source. In my case, I just used the Google Drive link. There is nothing magical about it, just a regular link to the copyright-free soundtrack that I downloaded. Just keep in mind that if you do the same way, you can actually use mine, but if you're gonna create your own track, save your own track, just keep in mind that the link, that the file should have a permission, so everybody has access. Everybody has access to this file via this link. So so permission is quite wide. So now the second element is middle text, and the parameter is text, middle text, and the parameter text here. Actually, no, it's not here. So it's here. So middle text dot text, and then we put the text that we just generated, and video source is going to be the link to the video. So to see those fields, let's actually test this step. Perfect. As you can see, the status is planned, so obviously it's gonna take some time for the video to be rendered. And what we can do here is implement the same logic like we did in generate video part. So let's create another HTTP request node and get the status of the render to see if it's completed or not. What we can do is go back to Createamate. Also here you can see the API log, which is quite a good thing, because here we can check the status. So when the generation is ready, the status is succeeded. So we can use it for the status. Okay, so let's go back to the documentation. Let's go back, let's get to get here. Let's copy this example curl request. import curl, replace the text, import. Nice. So now we got, since it's an example, we need to change it to expression and remove this example ID and use our ID from the input nodes. Authentication, generic, credential type, header auth, and let's choose create a mate. Okay, so since we do authentication through header auth, we don't need the headers. Okay, test step to see if it works. And awesome. So we get the status, no errors, perfect. And we also get the status, succeeded. So what we have to do now is that we implement similar logic. So we create another if statement. Then we check the status, and if equal, okay, if equal to succeeded, then we proceed. If not, then we wait 5 seconds and do another check. Let's name it rendered. Okay, so if it is equal to succeeded, we do the Blotato thing. If not, wait 5 seconds is fine. And then after these 5 seconds, we check again. And let's rename this node to get render status. Rename. Okay, so this is it for the image, for the video generation. So now we got the rendered video that we are basically ready to post to social media. But first we need to upload it to Blotato. So this is going to be part 1, 2, 3, 4, part 5, how to upload the reel to social media. Okay guys, so now let's post this video let's upload it to Blotato and then post it to IG. To do that, first let's go to blotato.com and create an account. They offer a free trial here, but unfortunately it won't be useful for you because to use API key you will need to have a paid subscription, and subscription is quite costly. It's $49 per month, I think. So keep it in mind that you will have to do this final step. You'll have to create a paid subscription. Okay, so once your account is created, you will see something like that, like a dashboard. So what you can do is you go to settings here. And in the settings, you can connect all kinds of social media here. As you can see, mine is already connected. So this is Drill 99 Club is for this specific project. So you can connect any social media you want, but for this project you will only need IG. So connect your IG account here, the account where you will actually post the content, where you will let AI post the content. And once it's done, it should look something like that. So what we do next is that we go to the documentation. So press help and you will see this kind of page. Okay, so here we go to API and to quick start. And yeah, in the documentation, so first we see how we should do the authentication. That's the correct way. And then we need to scroll all the way to attach media to post images and videos. Okay, so first let's copy this link. This is going to be the endpoint for sending our data from n8n. Let's go back to n8n. Let's create a new node, HTTP request node once again, method post, URL, we paste this URL, authentication, generic credential type. So now again, it's going to be header auth, and again we need to create a new account. So create new credential. So press create new credential, and name we get back to the documentation, and here is the correct syntax. So it's not going to be authorization this time. It's going to be Blotato API key. So we copy that, paste it here, And now for the API key, it's the tricky part where you have to you have to buy the subscription. Once you bought the subscription, you will have your API access here in the settings. So press settings, and here you see the API access. So you copy API key, it's copied, and you paste it here. Perfect. Then you press save, and the credential for Blotato is created. So obviously I have it created already, so I'm not going to create a new one. So okay. Oops, not wrong one. Okay. Now, what do we do now? We need to send the data. And we're going to send body, JSON using fields below. We can also check the documentation once again to check the syntax. So as you can see, to upload media to Blotato server, so if your post has images or videos, you need to first upload the media to Blotato server. So to do that, we just used this link as the API endpoint, and this is the syntax of the content that we send. So it is going to be URL, we copy that, we get back to n8n, it's the name of the parameter, and then for the value, we need to have the input data that we don't have. Let's get back. Let's test. Let's actually pin the data here. And let's get the render status again. Succeeded. And then we test this step, and then we should have the data available to this node. And as you can see, we got all the data. Nice. So in value, it is going to be the URL from Creatomate. JSON URL. So, okay, let's rename this node load to Blotato. Perfect. Actually, let's test the node right away. Test step. Success, perfect. So now we got the URL from Blotato, so our content is fully generated and is uploaded to Blotato servers. So now we can post it to any of the social media that we want. Let's do Instagram. So we create another HTTP request node. Then we get back to the documentation. And now let's check how it works with how it works here. Okay, so grab the URL from the response, then pass it to your publish request. So here is the code that we need to use to publish the material to Instagram. So let's copy this link as the API endpoint. Authentication, generic credential type, and header auth, and then Blotato API. And then in body, we need JSON using JSON because we got some code here. So we copy this code, get back to n8n, paste the code, change it to expression. And now we need to do some small modifications here. So first of all, account ID. This is an example one, delete this. Go back to Blotato to the dashboard, to the settings. And when you connected your account, so connect your IG account, for example, you can copy account ID here. So you press this button, now it's copied. Now we get back to n8n, and in account ID you passed it here. Perfect. So text, this is the text of the publication. You can do whatever, you can actually create another agent to generate a specific text for the specific prompt, or generate some text from the text that was generated for the image, but I'm just gonna leave it empty for now so we don't make it too complex. Platform Instagram, nice, perfect. Target type Instagram, great. So media URLs, we need to replace this URL with the one that we have here from Blotato. Okay, so should be good. So we test, let's rename it to Instagram. and let's test the step. And we get an error, invalid JSON parameter. Okay, what could be the issue? Okay, actually, I don't think we need here comma. And success. Perfect. So now let's see what we got in IG. Also remember that even though the status is okay, it's like success, no problems, the thing is that it still takes a few moments for the actual post to be published on IG. So keep that in mind, and if it's not appeared the same second, don't worry, just give it 1-2 minutes and it should be there. Let's test what we got. Okay guys, I thought that you might be interested also in the cost breakdown, because generating images and especially videos is not as cheap as generating pure text. So here we have a few main expenses. So a tools agent, these two tools agents that generate the prompt and the quote are negligible because it's just text, so it's going to be maybe 1-2 cents per every single request. But with each image generation, it gets a bit tricky. So the cool thing is that when we execute this node and press show data, we can see the total amount of output tokens. So if we go to openai.com/API/pricing and go all the way down to image generation, we can see that for the image generation, for the model that we use, GPT Image 1, they charge $40 per 1 million output tokens. So we got only 6,240 tokens, which is gonna translate to approximately $26. Then another thing is Runway. Runway, they charge 50 credits for 10-second video and 25 credits for 5-second video. It doesn't matter which model you use. So I paid $12.5, I think, for 1,000 credits. So 50 credits for me is going to be 63 cents. So one piece of content generated is going to be around 90 cents, so less than $1. And the biggest cut for, let's say, monthly estimates is going to come from Blotato subscription and Animating subscription, which is $20 and $50. So if, let's say, we set up this kind of creative account that makes autonomous posting every single day, then it translates to $27 per month for content and or $97 per month for full account. So every day a new post into, let's say, IG, YouTube, and TikTok, and it's gonna cost $97. The good thing is that if we, let's say, increase the number of content created, and we can, let's say, make 2 different accounts, let's say 2 automations, 2 accounts. Let's say one creates, I don't know, the photos of generated kittens, and the other creates photos of generated dogs. And in this case, the price will change just a bit. So $97 for one account and approximately $124 for 2 accounts, which is not that bad considering that these automations, they are fully autonomous, and you don't need to do anything. You build them, you press start, and they create content for you every single day. And you can make these automations 2, 4, 5, or even more. So that was it. Okay guys, so that was it. If you watched this video all until this point, congrats, you learned a lot. You learned how to generate an image with OpenAI API, you learned how to create a video from this image with Runway, and then how to generate such thing like a quote, and then combine them all together with Creatimate to turn it into a proper video, in this case Reels, and then publish it autonomously to social media with Blotato. So overall, you learned a lot, and you can use this is a template I wanted to explain how it works, so you can use it for any kind of content that you want, because this specific style and this specific content it produces right now, that's what I wanted. So I wanted it to be in this, let's say, a specific theme. So that kind of like slowly moving picture with this music and with this quote, and so this final product is the result that I wanted. But the thing is that you can be super creative with prompting. You can use the same template, but just change the prompt a bit, and you can manufacture anything, not just this like biblical war scenes with motivational quotes, but it can be any kind of content, any piece of content that you can just imagine. I mean, it's AI, it can generate basically everything. So if you like the video, hit like and subscribe, and don't forget to also join my free Skool community. I'll post a lot of useful content there, and I'll post a new video on the next week. Also, if you have some interesting ideas for the next build, or if you have ideas how can we improve this particular setup, let me know in the comments. Thanks a lot. See you next week.